So I had some sound issues with my video, but I finished my top. I was talking to you at the time. I had hand sewn the elastic to the loops, but I decided to secure it a bit stronger by just randomly stitching over it, that join, and back stitching, of course, to secure it. I ended up going out and buying a 12mm non-roll elastic, and of course I found my stash of elastic after that. So I finished that, ready to get it in, and now I need to finish attaching, putting in the elastic and the band and sewing that casing, which I ran out of top stitching thread. What I didn't do here was I didn't open the loops, the buttonholes, before I stitched the casing closed. I would recommend that you open those buttonholes when you put if you use an unpicker. Always put the unpicker on the inside and the outside. I'll try and show you that. So what I'm going to do now is finish closing that casing right around. I'm pulling the skirt down just to smooth it out and make sure I don't have any loops and twists in that casing, and making sure I leave enough space to allow that 12mm elastic to get through. Just pulling out the threads that I started with so I don't have them at the front, and I can secure them. And now I've decided, because I had missed so much of it, just decided to do a second row of stitching a little bit away from the first row to catch that hem. Turns out I don't like this look, so I'm going to cut it off. I've got plenty of length, so I will cut it off and re-hem this top, but I won't video that. The reason I'm stitching it from the back is because I forgot to get a matching thread. I didn't bring a sample with me. So I'm using something similar, but the bobbin is still the same colour. So I'm having the bobbin on the top because the thread's a similar colour. And backstitch at the end. You didn't need to backstitch at the front. Clip those threads clean. And I just did a quick check. I checked it. Now I've decided to put my label in, which I had forgotten. I still have a bit of organising to do to find everything. These are my original labels I made. They just say handmade by Felicia. I'm just finding the centre of the centre back and the label and pinning it in place, but I just want to catch it on the overlocked free edge, so I'm just playing with the pinning, and I put the pin facing the wrong direction, so I can't start it with the pin in, but that's okay. So stitch on the label, and now I'm going to open those buttonholes, which I recommend you do before you sew the casing closed, so you don't accidentally put your thread opener through your unpicker through the hole to the back. And I cut through probably some stitching. I had a bit of interfacing, so I just cut that out with the fine point scissors. And I don't know if you can see, before I push that unpicker through, I make sure that the top of the point is on the outside so I don't cut through my stitching. Now I'm going to insert that loop. I bought this loop turner, but then I've just realised that's not the right tool. So I've pulled out my bobbin, I've threaded the loop, tie up, whatever we call it, through, and now I'm going to feed that through the casing through those buttonholes. It's a bit fiddly, but you just keep pushing it through and get that elastic to the back. And once I get it through, I just keep adjusting until I get that elastic all the way in. As I said, it was a snug fit, so it takes a bit of fiddling. I probably think I have too much elastic. I think it needs to be a little bit shorter so that it gathers the back a bit better. But it's difficult to know how much to cut off without trial and error. So I ended up making it as the pattern described with the tie up and the elastic. If you're interested in some other methods, I can maybe do them in a separate video. I would really appreciate it if you would make the time to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel so that I can grow with more content. I find all the feedback I've received so far very valuable, and I thank you for making that time and effort. So here I am, just making sure that that elastic isn't twisted and evening it out and getting it through just the back part. By stretching it, it helps it gather a bit better. And I'm just making those final adjustments to get the elastic even on both sides. There we have it. Here's some close-ups of that buttonholing and the overlocking at the waist. and my little label, and top and bottom of the overlocking. And I really didn't like how I ended up doing that hem, so I'm going to cut that off and redo it. But it looks pretty cute. So I just wanted you to not be afraid when you're trying something. So this one ends in the V, but my first one that I made, I overlapped because I had more skirt. I had more bodice, sorry, than skirt. So I overlapped them instead. I still find this a little bit low cut for me, and I would wear a cami or something underneath. So don't be afraid to try something new. And I have finished the top. I'm wearing a plain t-shirt underneath at the moment because it's a little bit low cut for what I normally would wear, but I would comfortably wear this over a swimming costume. For me, it's kind of more of a dress, believe it or not. You can't even see where the jeans start. So I'm going to re-hem this because I missed a lot of the original hemming and I don't like the double stitching that I ended up doing. But that's fine, it's very comfortable. The back is probably just sitting a bit funny because of this microphone. So that's the back of it. And it's probably a little big for me because it's sitting, or I should make an adjustment to take in a little bit at the back neck because it's a little bit gapey. But that's kind of a normal thing for me in ready-made clothes, so I'm making it from scratch, a pattern, so I should really adjust these things. But yeah, it's flowy in the rayon. I think it works quite well in the rayon, and it's pretty comfortable. So I hope this video has helped you put yours together, and stay tuned for more videos like this. I would really love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give me any constructive feedback that you may think of, what you would like to see more of, what would you like to see less of. I'm trying to identify which is the best length of video. Some people like them shorter, some people like them longer, so hopefully we'll get going and make more content. So I've put some close-up photos of some of the details of the overlocking and stuff like that I did, but I didn't show you my overlocking. I'll do that in a separate video for the Gloria baby lock. What you could do as well, if you didn't want it so low cut, you could probably work out where you want it to be together, and just what we did down here where we stitched that little bit together, you could continue it up to the point that's more comfortable for you, or you could sew in an insert, maybe a bit of lace or something pretty, or even a bit more of a band folded in there. So I hope this helps you, and yeah, have a great night. See ya.